Well, hi there. Welcome to Fridays with Phil. Thanks for joining me. Hey, I've got the beanie on, not because it's cold, but it's Motor Neuron Disease Awareness Week International. I'm not talking about that today, but just letting you know, have your eyes open for the new beanie that's coming out soon, which will be fantastic. Wow, we're coming out of ISO slowly but surely. Isn't that a great thing? I know Queenslanders have had some rules relaxed, and so is New South Wales. Lenore and I are looking forward to having the grandchildren around pretty soon, which will be fantastic. Haven't seen them in the house for a long time. And so we're looking forward to that. But while we're in isolation, life has slowed down, hasn't it? I know it has for many of us, and maybe it has for you as well. And in that slowing down, maybe it's a good time for us to actually look at our lives and look at the direction pre-COVID-19, where our lives were heading in and what we were doing. And so I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about coming out of isolation. Is your life going to be different to what it was before you went into isolation pre-COVID-19? Because you've had the opportunity to recalibrate, to think about where you were heading, and if you were heading, in fact, in the direction toward the destination that you want to be at. I remember when I was in Belgium and I was looking for Michelangelo's Madonna and Child sculpture, and I believed it was in this church. This was early on in my motor neuron disease MND diagnosis, and I could still walk, but not very far. So I calculated and thought, yeah, that's not too far. I could do that and get back. I arrived at the church, and as I'm taking photos, I'm thinking, this is the wrong sculpture. Every church over there has one, but this was the wrong one. It's not Madonna and Child. And so I was really disappointed. I've used all this energy, all of this activity to get to a place where it was wrong. And so I had to make a decision. Was I going to just sit down there and, well, I give up? Or was I going to make a resolve and recalibrate and find the right church? And I did find it. I started moving towards it slowly and finally arrived at the right destination. And so this is important, you know. It's important that when we do have opportunity to discover where we're going or the direction that we're heading in, it's good to be able to ask yourself now and again, is this direction, is the destination the place that I want to actually arrive at? You know, you can learn from your mistakes rather than camping at your mistake, at your misdirection, at your wrong direction, at the wrong destination. Can I encourage you to get up, gather strength, and make a change? You know, your passion, your desires could be raising great kids. Well, pre-COVID-19, are there things now that you've learned while spending so much time with your kids that you can now put into your life as we're coming out of isolation that will add value to raising great kids? I know that there are stories of people who their kids have had less screen time and they've become more creative and all of those type of things. Well, let's carry those good things of isolation into post-ISO days. And what about becoming a generous giver or more healthy, having a strong marriage or a business success? Maybe there are things that you look at in your business and say, wow, we're heading in the wrong direction there. A lot of activity, but not the direction that the business wants to go in. Can you recalibrate and find a new direction? Maybe it's intimacy with God. Maybe there are things that you've discovered in isolation that you want to carry over into, as I said, post-COVID-19, that will increase the intimacy with God that you have right now. You know, you'll only ever get there if you're heading in the right direction. There's a difference between moving and moving in the right direction. You know, speed is all about how fast we're going. Speed's all about how fast we're going, but velocity is speed in the right direction, and it brings change to our position. That's what velocity is all about. Speed is just moving. And, you know, you can move on a treadmill and you can go faster and faster and faster, but you're not changing your position. Speed on a push bike without wheels, you know, exercise bike. You can move, but a lot of speed, but there's no change of position. Velocity is all about speed in the right direction that changes your position. And that's what we want to be involved in post-COVID-19, coming out of isolation. I want to ask you 3 questions for you to answer yourselves. Number one is, was there a lot of activity going into in your world pre-COVID-19? Was there a lot of activity in your world pre-COVID-19? And if so, number 2, if so, was that activity moving you and changing your position? Or were you just spinning your wheels? Was there no moving forward? Was there no momentum? And if there was, were you moving in the right direction? They're important questions to ask yourself. A lot of activity, yes. Is there moving? Am I moving? Yes, things are moving forward, but are they moving in the right direction? And isolation gives you the opportunity and has given you the opportunity to maybe think about the values that you carry into your future, the dreams and the passions that you have in your life. The key is making sure you're heading in the right direction. Speed's important, but I would rather move slowly in the right direction than fast in the wrong direction. When I went to the first church, I used a lot of my energy already. I'd got there as fast as I could. But now moving to the second church in the right direction, I couldn't move as fast, but at least I knew my motivation was, hey, I'm going to arrive at the right destination. I might get there slower, but I'm going to get there, which is really, really important. Imagine you were, you could be, or what you could see if you became aware of the direction you were heading in. Just become aware, just slow down and become aware of it. Jesus said in John 8:14, he said, I know where I've come from and where I am going to. It's great in this time as we're coming out of isolation to understand where you're at, where you're coming from, but also get the direction that you want to head in. Is it heading in the direction of your passions, your dreams, your desires? What's the God call on your life? What it is that you want your life to look like in the future? Then now's the time. Recalibrate, move forward. And if you have to move a little bit slower, at least you're moving in the right direction. So God bless you. Peace and love to you. Have a wonderful coming out of isolation time.